So set it wise, obviously nothing we need to worry about there. In terms of ball position though, we did discuss about the shaft lean. If your feet move closer or wider apart, the perception of the shaft's moving forward. You always...
The ball centre, do you?
Well, the ball for me, the ball's always. I always measure off my lead foot. So the ball for me is about 5-6 inches from my lead foot, and if I got a wide stance, it's obviously now nearer my front foot. If I bring my trail foot in closer, the 6 inches from my lead foot now to the back foot is almost the same. So the ball's in the middle. The perception of the ball moving back and forth. It's not moving. It's just that in the centre of my chest now moving this way, because my hands always go by my lead thigh. If I move my leg in closer, it seems to give a perception of more shaft lean. You're not taking your hands and arms and moving them back and forth.
Where they go.
They just hang from the shoulders down. And if you go really wide stance, well, exactly, that's a driver setup, okay? But if you go for a wide stance, your hands sort of hang from the middle here now, okay? There's a little bit less shaft lean. If you keep the ball there now, move your feet closer, and move your feet closer together with your right foot, there you go. If this foot stays there now in the hands, that you've got the shaft lean, you see. So the shaft lean kind of gets created.
It's by where your hands are.
Exactly, rather than you sort of moving your hands. Exactly, But in terms of the swing, as we said, you had takeaway this way, downswing that way. On occasions would result in a pass that way. But the way it got that was relying on a full swing.
Motions and
you couldn't really hit a soft shot. Okay, because if you took the speed out of it, one of those yellow lines.
If I take the speed out of it, it goes left.
Exactly.
A long way left.
Because you probably come in and then the shoulders. Exactly.
The pace then to get it all going.
Exactly. So the club and the body now working different speed and different syncs, and where's that club going to be? It's all up to play. So if we look at the takeaway here now, see that club face now, or the club head now behind your backside. You look at this one here now, the club now working up at your toe line. Okay, so that's a good club position here now. And if we actually watch as the club goes back, the club now you can see through your right forearm there, So if you look at your right forearm is there, there's your shaft, and there's basically your right forearm, okay? So as that club goes back, we sort of keep that line on there now, as that club goes back, look where your right forearm is now, right forearm, it's back on the same line. So it's coming back on the same kind of body line as you've gone this way. So the club now, depending on the speed you come into it, as you come in the golf ball now, there's kind of impact. Your shoulders are square. They could be a little bit more the other way, but I'd rather see that than...
That's just a bit more coming inside.
Slightly, it's just a bit more kind of hip movement. The more your hips move this way, the left your right shoulder goes forward, okay? And that, again, that sort of skimming the pebble kind of mentality we said there, almost like a backhand shot into just getting that sort of top spin. You would just naturally feel your lead hip moving towards target, You never want your hip to sort of start coming back and away, okay? So
I was sort of floating it.
Exactly, twist the hips is always like a buzzword. Hips twist to get power, get some speed. Well, they do twist, but you're not actually taking it and doing this with them, okay? As you move your hips to the sort of target, the weight goes over that lead and that left foot, and that kind of pushes back and away. Exactly, So, and as you then swing to the golf ball, good shot to the golf ball now. And to the side, that sort of nice sort of held off finish we discussed before, so just controlling the club face now, for me, really, really good. And I think when you started doing this, you were able to kind of control the distance, I think the distance now, but you could control the distance as your ball travelled, because if you stopped halfway back, for example, if you stopped sort of here, okay, and came back to the golf ball, the club was coming back on a same path there, okay? If you stopped here or stopped there, it didn't matter, because the club was just started going up and down like kind of one line, and would stop here, stop further back, stop shorter. You could control distance. So, and I would encourage, if you can, use this machine, get that number generator. Like I said, put in 50 to 110 parameters, or maybe a bit more the wedge, and just go right, boom, hit a number. See what it gets, and then try and land it on that number, and give yourself 10%. So if you're 85 yards, 8.5 yards. If you're 40 yards, you're going to be in 4 yards, kind of thing. And measure.
A few different clubs.
Do it. I don't know, 30 times, and randomly change club per top. So you might go, okay, right. So it could be, you might get the first number, which is 57, and go right. I'm going to go wedge, gap, wedge, Sandown, wedge, gap, wedge, Sandown, wedge, gap, wedge, Sandown, irrespective of the numbers. Now, interesting, you might get one where you go, my Sandown goes 85 yards. I've got 110 now. What can I do? We'll try and work out how to do it 110 yard Sandown. You might try and draw it, de-loft it. You'll start fancy. You start playing again. It's a bit of extra fun to add. Okay, how can I just Sandown this far?
Just use your brain to work things out.
Exactly. And it's, in some ways, it's just a bit of maths and physics and science in some ways, but it gives you that opportunity. So you're not looking at technique. Exactly. Yeah, you're not looking at technique so much. You're working on that sort of path, as we said before, and that hip movement. But generally, with that sort of
that's every club, so we can come down to 20 minutes to do that, and then Do something with.
Exactly. But again, I think in some ways it makes practice a little bit more enjoyable rather than just standing there whacking golf balls and saying, right, I'm trying to go 85 yards in my sand down and in 20 balls in the last one, I've got 86 yards, brilliant. Well, on the golf course, 19 goes to try and work out.
A couple of holes at the end of the practice.
Just pick up exactly. Good.
Different shots in,
yeah, exactly. That's the number one I like to do.
How do you do that thing when you've got different...
The skills test? The different... Yeah, okay, so...
I can remember to set it up.
Okay, so I'll talk you through the video now. So you come on there, you go compete.
Yeah.
Okay, skills challenge, custom challenge, and it's the foresight default skills challenge.
Okay, I got to this.
Click on that. Now the one thing you've got to do is go load, okay, because you can't press start now. Hit load and then start. So it's like a 6-button press, then you get the 14 shots there, okay? So you can go, anyway, we're going to so you can go through that there and so on. So click it also. Yeah, sorry, the touch screen. Yeah, it's a bit temperate, the touch screen. So
exit.
So this will be that'll be your main screen there. So you go through, so compete, skills challenge,
custom challenge,
foresight default, load it, start.
Start.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
And once you've done it 2 or 3 times, you're just becoming like tingling, like your mobile phone. You switch away. So it gives you that kind of, and that's for me a good game to do as well. And again, you could do this sometimes. You go, okay, right, for the first 7 shots up to 110, you could say, right, I'll do it once today with just my sand line for the first 6-7 shots, and then the next time just my gap wedge for the first 6-7 shots, and then the next time just my pitching wedge.
And that's doing the same sort of thing as...
You always use up different shots. Okay, Nick, make sense, yeah?
Yeah.